hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Mike and T-Roy. What up, T?
Hello, sir.
How are you, buddy?
Just fabulous. How about yourself?
Doing okay.
Let me be
Munching on our halls.
Let me be the first to say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. I think we missed the cutoff, though.
No.
Yeah.
What?
According to Curb.
Oh, man.
Larry David has a 3-day policy.
That's it?
Yeah. Someone tried to say it to him 2 weeks later. He was like, nah.
Yeah. No, there's definitely a cutoff, but this is the first time we've been here, so Happy New Year,
Happy
sir.
New Year to you, too, my friend. It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
We absolutely planned on doing a show yesterday.
Yeah.
I prepped the show yesterday, but I woke up and all day I had this like brain fog and I was really tired. I had a cough and I was like, well, I'll just plow through, whatever. And then I heard T walk in and it was very reminiscent of Mike Clark, actually, where you could hear him from a building and a half away.
Yeah.
He'd be talking to himself or laughing uproariously. I could hear you moaning and groaning from the second you walked in the door. And I
Trying
was
to
like,
take off the boots, man.
trying to take off the boots, and you were just like, "Ugh." And I'm like, "Are you all right?" And you're like, "No, I feel like shit, totally run down, exhausted."
Well, went straight to bed.
And yeah, you went to bed. You were done,
Laid
dude.
down, yeah.
You got a little something to eat, hoping that would help, and then I don't even know, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock,
Yeah.
gone. You were done for the night.
Yep.
And so I thought for sure we had COVID in the house because both of us.
Yeah, I was hoping
Both of us.
That would have been perfect.
Yeah. And so Ed Grabo, our good friend, came by yesterday and he took one look at both of us and he was like, yeah, you two are fucked up. you two don't sound or look very good.
No.
I was like, yeah, it's got to be Omicron, right? I mean, how else could both of us be so run down?
Well, apparently there's still colds and flus. You wouldn't
Yeah,
know about
I
it,
know. I know. But I was hoping.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't get an appointment at CVS, Walgreens. None of them have anything available. You can't get a rapid test anywhere.
Pretty crazy. You had to wait 2 days to get a test.
Yeah,
Like,
so they-
called all around and couldn't find a test for 2 days.
They said Wednesday, tomorrow, because we're recording on Tuesday right now. Tomorrow I could get in at 3:20. So I was like, okay, well, Ed texted this morning. He was like, hey, how you feeling? I said, actually, better. I don't know what it was or what. I haven't talked to Troy. I don't know how he's feeling. He said, hey, I've got a few rapid tests. You want me to swing by and drop one off? I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Because what we've heard with this variant is it could be in your system and gone in 2 days, and you could get tested on Wednesday. It's gone. You had it Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and it's gone.
I thought you couldn't get tested for 3 months because it was going to give you false positives.
After the fact, or
Yeah.
well,
if you get it, you're not supposed to get tested for 3 months, I think now is the new criteria because it's going to keep showing that you're positive.
yeah, but I mean, I wanted. Oh well, I don't know. I haven't heard that. I heard with Omicron. At least Ryan told me that shit could be added because and the reason we were talking about it is because G had it for like 10 days. He's doing great now, but Marshall and Amanda. Marshall got like rosy cheeks, tiny bit flush, and a little like half-degree elevated fever. And it was like, yeah, he probably had it too. That's exactly what he'll get for one day, and it's gone. And Amanda had a little bit of a headache for a night, and Ryan was like, that's probably all she'll get. And I said, well, they haven't been tested. And he said, yeah, well, it doesn't really matter, but in 2 days, they might not show up positive anymore anyways. Neither would G. Even if he still feels like shit, he might not. So it was like, fuck. So anyway, Ed brought one over and I tested. Fucking negative. Oh, I was hoping for a Christmas miracle.
How does
I was
that work?
So pissed.
How does that work?
What do you mean?
The test, is it just like a piss test, like pee on
No.
a stick kind of a thing?
No, you got to come
Pregnancy?
on it.
Yeah?
You got to jack off.
Oh,
So
okay.
Ed helped me with that. No,
Bring some more over.
it's actually kind of unique. They give you a scan card, and then there's like a cartridge that you put on the scan card, so it all goes through their app, and you take a swab, and they tell you where to hold it. There's a whole video you have to watch, and they show you how to do each nostril, and then you put these droplets on the scan thing, like 3 droplets with this whatever, and then you wait 15 minutes, and then they text you after that, and they tell you positive or negative. And I got the negative one, and I was just like, oh, of course, nothing ever goes my way, ever.
Well,
Ever.
there's a very strong possibility that you fucked that process up.
No, Ed was here for most of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I watched the video. I wasn't gonna fuck it up.
Well, I've had a few tests myself,
Yeah.
and there's no way in fuck I would stab myself in the brain that hard with a Q-tip.
I did.
Oh.
I don't care. It doesn't
Oh,
bother me.
God, I
I've done
couldn't.
so many drugs up my nose.
But I
Nah.
just okay.
Yeah. Nah, I wasn't worried about it.
I'd go there, but there's no way the way they did it. Oh.
Yeah, well, they didn't even in the video. They didn't even go up that far. I went way farther than they suggested.
Okay.
So, and I did 5 circles on each nostril.
Now, do we know if this test is good for Omicron?
Probably not. He got 'em months ago.
Yeah.
But I think it would still show if you had COVID. I don't know. I don't know if it's. I mean, there's so when you've got these rapid tests, there's so many false positives
Yeah.
and false negatives. I mean, it's a starting point. It's what G took, and then he took it again the next day or the day after, and had it again. So it was pretty clear. But I can't get a positive test to save my fucking life. It's driving me nuts, T.
I'd take the other one just to verify, but I don't want to
Yeah.
waste it. I'm feeling pretty good today.
See, I was thinking because G and everyone was like, "Have Troy take it too." I'm like, "Well, we've only got one." And the craziest part, the part that's so infuriating to me, is every person that knew I was taking it, because there's like a family text string and shit. The first question out of everyone's mouth: "Where the hell did you get a rapid test?" Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like, that's pathetic. The fact that there aren't billions of these things, like was suggested to this administration in October,
You would
to
think.
stock the fuck up, buy all of them you could, and now states are doing it themselves, trying to buy these things up and keep them on the shelves, but they're nowhere.
No.
You can't get them anywhere.
How do you even get it? I mean, you have to request it? Do you have to buy it?
Well, it should be just on the shelves at CVS.
yeah.
Like, that's how it should be. I think you can do, because I had to order a refill on some meds, not COVID related, but they're going to make you listen to 20 minutes of COVID related bullshit before you can get to the pharmacy.
You know what we should do? Rename them mail-in ballots. And then everybody would get one.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. The whole country will get 2, 3 of them. Why not? So, yeah. But it sounds like you can go on their website and order them. You know, the people that were smart, like Ed, a couple months ago, saw this coming and just bought up, 4 or 5 boxes each.
Yeah, smart.
And
Smart.
they each come with 2 in them. So he's got some more, but we've got 1 in house. So
Okay. Yeah.
one of us starts really feeling like shit, we can
Yeah, we'll save that one.
run it up the
I'm
flagpole.
feeling
and
pretty
see.
confident that
Yeah.
it wasn't it.
So anyway, that's why we weren't here yesterday to wish everybody a happy new year. We weren't blowing you off. It was just one of those days. And so I don't know what the hell that was, but it hit
Something.
both of us kind of hard. And
But we're way on the mend now.
we're
so-
way on the mend.
And here we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. So back to making out with strangers and licking flat fucking doorknobs for me.
From your mouth to God's ears, man.
God. Damn it. I was so pissed, Troy. So pissed.
You wanted it. I know you wanted it.
I wanted it so bad when it was like, and I was like, ooh, my results. You fuck. Fuck. I was so mad.
What kind of information does it give you? Is it just straight negative, or does it tell you any kind of numbers or anything? Or I don't even know what it means or how it works. But
Yeah.
like if it was the Omicron, would you know? You've tested positive for something.
COVID-19. It popped up with that.
Okay.
So it just in big, giant green and white, like negative.
Yeah. Wonder if it'd be red if it was positive.
Probably. Probably.
Really get your attention.
All right. What's going Troy and Travis.
Uh-oh.
Engineer Mike is in the way of Mike's camera. Buzz. Go the other way with it. There you go. Is that better, Trev?
There you go.
I don't usually look at my phone. That would have been one of those annoying things.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Dealt with anyway. Yeah. So, yeah, we're both feeling good, which sucks. We don't have COVID, but what are you going to do? But I did, like I said, I prepped the show yesterday. So I have some stories that I pulled yesterday and some that I pulled today. And so we'll whip something together. But Patton Oswalt was kind of the talk of the town yesterday.
I caught a little vapor of that.
Yeah. Did
From
you?
the Chappelle thing?
Yeah. Yeah. This story is,
It's amazing.
it's just so sad.
It is.
It's really, really sad.
that
but
you
it's
have
not
to come
uncommon.
out with a public apology
Yeah.
for that is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
I mean, you've known and worked with your entire career, essentially. Let alone,
Since they were teens, Troy.
yeah. I mean, that
Teens.
let alone he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, you know.
So this started. They were both doing New Year's Eve shows, and they happened to be next door to each other. My guess is Chappelle was in a stadium, and
At the theater
Patton
next
was,
door.
Yeah, Patton was in the nightclub next door, or the theater next
It'd be
door.
like at the Fox and the Fillmore kind
Yeah.
of downtown type of a thing.
or LG, or Little Caesars
Yeah, or
Arena,
whatever, yeah.
and
Right.
fucking Bananas nightclub. You know, who knows? I mean, I'm sure Patton's doing theaters, but he's not doing what Chappelle's doing.
No, God, no.
So he shared a couple pictures with Chappelle. Hadn't seen him in a couple years. This is in Seattle, Washington. Called him a genius, a real friend. And of course, this sparks furious. First off, Patton Oswalt has to know posting a picture with his dear friend Chappelle is going to cause backlash, right?
You would think.
You would have to be a total moron to not know, oh, this is the guy that's on the front lines taking shit every minute of the day from psycho trans people who think he shouldn't be allowed to have an opinion about anything if it mentions trans. So to act like, oh, I just wanted to share a picture of my friend. Yeah, you know, I could post a picture of me and Mike Lindell.
Yeah.
I would expect that there might be some fucking backlash.
A little blowback on that.
I shouldn't just be like, well, he's been generous my whole life, like I don't give a shit, but I would expect it.
You can't be blindsided by it.
No,
Right.
no, you can't.
But at the same time, you wouldn't come out with a fucking apology. I don't agree with his apologies. He's been very generous to the show, and yes, it's heartbreaking.
So, apparently Chappelle texted him, was like, hey, bro, I hear you next door. Why don't you come by and do a guest set opening for me? And so Patton wrote, I waved goodbye to this hell year with a genius I started comedy with 34 years ago. He works an arena like he's talking to one person and charming their skin off. Anyway, I ended the year with a real friend and a deep laugh. Can't ask for much more. And of course, that's when the outrage began. And then he elaborated, I saw a friend I hadn't seen in a long time New Year's Eve. We've known each other since we were teens. He's a fellow comedian, funniest I've ever met. I wanted to post a pic and an Instagram story about it, so I did. That friend is Dave Chappelle. 34 years we've been friends. He's refocused and refined ideas a lot of us took as settled about race and history and life on planet Earth and spun them around with a phrase or a punchline. We've done bad and good gigs, open mics, and TV tapings, but we also 100% disagree about trans rights and representation. I support trans people's rights, anyone's rights. So does Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, that's the
like,
tragic
what the
part.
fuck are you talking about,
Trying to
Patton?
throw him under the bus, like without defending him.
Yeah.
You're just separating and throwing him under the bus.
It's
and
just
that's-
disingenuous as shit. That's not
absolutely.
at all what Dave Chappelle has said. Ever.
No, he's just
Ever.
ducking from the mob. Chappelle can absorb it. Oswald, maybe not so much.
Maybe not so
You
much.
can't afford a cancel culture on him.
So he stands by trans people's rights, anyone's rights, to live safely in the world as their fullest selves. That sounds exactly like Dave Chappelle's opinion, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I've watched all the specials, some of them multiple times.
Yeah.
That's the message I get from all of them. He could still tell them they're full of shit when they're full of shit.
True.
Doesn't mean he doesn't believe in their rights or their ability to live a full life.
No.
Let's see. For all the things he's helped me evolve on, I'll always disagree with where he stands now on trans issues. But I also don't believe a seeker like him is done evolving, learning. You know, someone that long, see the struggles and changes. It's impossible to cut them off. Impossible not to be hopeful and open and cheer them on. Also, I've been carrying a lot of guilt about friends I've cut off who had views with which I couldn't agree or changed in ways I couldn't live with. Sometimes I wonder, did I and others cutting them off make them dig their heels in deeper, fuel their ignorance with a nitro boost of resentment and spite? Yeah, that's exactly what you did, Patton. 100% that's what you've done.
You don't think that's a little egotistical?
I think I'm not even thinking so much about Patton. I'm thinking about people we know.
Yeah. Oh,
That aren't fucking superstars.
Right.
They're just normal people that happen to disagree with some political opinion you have, and have basically written people we know off. Happens on one side of the aisle. It doesn't so much happen on the other side of the aisle. I've noticed in my personal dealings. But I'm an LGBTQ ally. I'm a loyal friend. Are you, Patton? It just sounds like you chucked your fucking oldest friend on the bus. Yeah. Heads up, freight train coming through.
yeah, jeez.
There's friction in those traits that I need to reconcile myself and not cause feels of betrayal in anyone else. And I'm sorry, truly sorry that I didn't consider the hurt this would cause or the depth of that hurt. I naively deleted a lot of posts in the comment thread, critical ones from LGBTQ writers and shit posts from TERF anti-trans orcs looking for clicks and giggles or who just have a different opinion than you. Could that be it too, Patton?
Yeah.
That not everybody falls right in line with your warped opinions. They need to be bashed as shit posts by turf anti-trans orcs looking for clicks and giggles. I wanted a nice comment thread. Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
Okay.
Here's my opinions on politics. Why didn't I get a nice comment thread? What's going on here? About the pick with my friend. Oh, so easy to think someone else needs growth and miss the need in yourself. Gonna keep trying.
Oh,
blah, blah, blah.
Patton, do better.
Dude, this is so sad because the reality is here you've got someone that's got a 34-year friendship with someone personally.
Yep.
Came up together as teenagers through clubs, through shitty gigs, through shitty club owners fucking them over, to getting that first taste of success in entertainment, to getting, they've both done TV shows and movies and stand-up specials, and like their careers paralleled for a while each other, and you saw little growth and blah, blah, blah. To write that off for what? You know Dave Chappelle, Patton Oswalt, better than almost anyone probably.
Better than most,
He's
absolutely.
a friend of yours. You know where his heart is. You know that. So you're willing to sacrifice that friendship to impress a bunch of woke fucking assholes you'll never meet in your life.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
mean-
exactly right, because that's the mob. That's the cancel culture. That's who he's scared of.
I just can't imagine.
It's terrifying.
There's not a world I can imagine where I'd write off a personal friend because random listeners decided that my fucking lifelong friend isn't good enough for me
Yeah.
because of their viewer stance on this, on X. Doesn't matter what it is. Electric vehicles, I don't give a fuck. Whatever their stance is that doesn't agree with your woke weirdo, you know, this, by the way, your opinions on this, Patton, have been in the mainstream for like 2 years, okay? Don't act like this is settled science with the rest of the country. You are in the minority, friend. Sorry, you are. Dave Chappelle is way more supported in his opinions. So to act like he's some piece of shit, I need to think twice before. If I was Chappelle, I'd go fuck yourself, Patton.
Yeah.
Nice knowing you. I'll reflect
And-
fondly on our careers together.
Yeah, but
Forget
Chappelle's
it.
never even said anything against their rights.
No.
Or, you know, he's has questions like a lot of people do. And it's not his opinion's not popular with the trans crowd.
Yeah.
But if they actually listen to what he's saying, I've never heard him really bash a trans, nor will he or has he. But you want to take
He
what
would
he
say,
says.
Dave would say, like in his early stand-up, not his specials
Yeah.
so much, but he mentioned specifically in San Francisco playing, probably just doing, you know, club gigs, preparing for a special. But you're talking about 10, 15 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and using terms like tranny,
Yeah.
like that, where
That
he's
was-
like, yeah,
that
you know.
that was the term. I mean,
I know.
it's
But now-
dated now, right? But you can't go back and you say that he used that term when.
Well, that's what he even said. Like, I get it now that I was offensive and I was calling them trannies and transvestites, and I didn't. But
Yeah.
it was like, yeah, Dave, no one knew what the fuck they were.
Yeah.
We were all learning on the fly.
Right.
But trannies, I don't know. What does that mean? Transgender
No.
wasn't even a fucking word back
Not with
then.
a club bashing him in the knee or anything, you know.
No.
It's,
Yeah. And we've been saying that since day one, man. Live and let live, dude. Do you. I don't care.
So it's tragic that he chose to, rather than defend his friend in this and use that opportunity to try and bridge that gap,
Yeah.
he created a bigger divide.
Yeah.
And that's sad. It really is. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know other way to put it.
Yeah.
But
You know, they say once you go black, you never go back.
yeah,
I'm starting to think once you go woke, there's no coming back from
I
that
don't think
either.
so, no.
Like that's a political, that's a religious ideology more than anything. Like that's your new religion.
Yeah.
Is who can be the biggest victim, who's more woke than who. But when you see it on this level, like, dude, what are you talking about? Like anybody that doesn't want to talk to me or hang out with me or listen to this show or whatever, that's fine. But I'm not going to write any of them off.
Yeah.
I've never written anybody off.
and even just the way he had to word it, he could have done that a number of different ways.
Yeah.
and not come out like that. And just said, you know, hey, think what you want, whatever. It's a longtime friend of mine. He's going to be a friend for the rest of my life. You
Yeah.
know, we don't always agree on everything. We don't always see eye to eye.
We're not supposed to.
But I know he's a good person. I know his heart's in the right place. You know, he could have defended him, but
Yeah.
he did not.
Yeah, it's too bad. And honestly, I thought that was the most that last special that Chappelle put out, I thought was the biggest olive branch to a community ever
Should have been.
agreed to meet with him, talk to him, get more in depth. He said, I'm not talking about this shit anymore until they do. You know, here's the only demands I have, and they were reasonable, you know, outside of the joke at the end.
Yeah.
You declare this shitbag isn't funny. But
Which
she's not. He's not. Whatever. I don't even know what it was, but he or she, which way it went,
whatever.
transition wise, I don't know. I don't even know. Honestly, I'm not making a joke.
I think it was a she.
It was a she. Did it used to be a he, or was it just an LGBTQ?
I think it was just a butch from like Australia.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
Yeah.
She was just a butch. She was just a big old
Yeah, but the butches don't tend to get along with the T's.
Yeah. Wow. Insert
know?
letter here. I don't know. They can have their own beef.
Yeah.
Let 'em have it.
Yeah, they do have their own beef. Those hardcore lesbians, because the hardcore like butch lesbians. I don't know. Is that the right term? What do they call them now? Industrial lesbians?
Husbands. I don't know.
The dude in the relationship? I don't know. Whatever they are. Sorry, I don't mean to be an asshole. Sort of, I do, but they're starting to like shit on them. Like, if you don't take trans women and date them, you're a transphobe. You're a bigot.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, I kind of checked out of the dick and balls world, like on purpose a while ago.
Yep.
Whether that was because of abusive relationships that led me down this road, or I was not attracted to cock and balls.
Sure.
I wanted vagine, which I totally get.
Yeah.
I get if that's radical feminism or radical lesbianism. I get it, ladies. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I've no interest in dick and balls either. So if a trans woman comes up to me like hasn't fully transitioned, maybe she's got some tits, she's growing her hair out, but has a cock and balls, I'm not interested.
Kind of a deal breaker, right?
That's a hard line in the sand. It really is for me, Troy. I don't know about you.
And that makes you a piece of shit.
Piece of shit.
You are an absolute piece of shit. Hate to tell you.
The butches are coming to the defense, though, because they're standing up to that going, no.
Not how
You
that
do not get to force a cock and ball set on me and act like I'm an asshole
Yeah.
if I'm not for that. Here,
Let them start eating themselves.
yeah, I know.
Hopefully,
it's fantastic.
comes back around full circle.
Fantastic. But yeah, I don't know. I would have a very big problem personally. I just would. Maybe that makes me a transphobe or a bigot, whatever it is. But if I started making out with some chick, quote unquote, and then we both got rock hard together, that'd be a real problem, dude.
It'd be a shocker.
Yeah, that would be a. I'm not saying I would beat anybody up or want harm to come to something. I'd be like, yeah.
It might be the end of the date, though.
Yeah. It'd definitely be the end of the date.
Hard stop. Full
Yeah,
stop.
Full stop. It just would. It'd be one of those like, you see what you did there. You almost had me.
Close.
You almost had me. Nice try. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to have to ask you to leave now. Or I'm going to see myself out.
Yeah.
No need to walk me to the door.
I wonder if Chappelle responds to that at all.
Probably not.
I wouldn't bother.
Yeah.
Probably
Chappelle's so much
in personally. Like, you piece of shit.
Yeah. Or behind the scenes, he's probably even written to Chappelle like, I know I'm a fucking pussy, dude.
Yeah.
My team said I had to put this out, or they were going to drop my next special in Netflix, or who knows what's going on. But
Behind the scenes, sure.
one thing I can promise you is Dave Chappelle is not listening to any team of people telling him what to do or say.
No.
So whether or not, I know that text wouldn't go back the other way, like from Dave.
Yeah.
But from Patton, I would hope he wouldn't do something like that and have a team of people telling him what to say. But
Who knows?
who knows? I can't imagine. That'd be like me writing something like that about you, and misquoting what you're saying, because that's what Patton's doing.
That's the
totally
reality of
taken
it.
out of context about what Chappelle said.
It's just because he's in the crosshairs.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want that kind of fucking shade.
Yeah.
I don't
And
want
then
any
just,
part of that. Yeah.
shitting all over you, taking your shit out of context.
Well,
and
it
then
was just
putting
an
it in
opportunity to
blast,
do
like-
a gig, so don't hate me for it. It just
Yeah.
happened to be for him.
Yeah.
Fuck
And
off.
I totally 100% disagree with this
All
transphobic.
caps. All
Yeah,
caps to make sure you
stop
get
it.
that part out of it.
Stop it.
Patton, you are a pussy,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
You, sir.
That's pussified. And
are a
he's
pussy.
woke as shit. He just, he's one of those. What are you going to do? Not much you can do. Just hope it eats itself. The fact is, they don't seem to have any shame about it. And so, I don't know where this goes, man. Nowhere good.
Right down the shitter.
Yeah.
That's where it's going.
Texas Republican Representative Troy Nails.
That's a fucking great name.
Yeah. T. Roy Nails.
There you go.
Submitted Joe Rogan's podcast with Dr. Robert Malone to the Congressional Record.
Did he?
Yeah.
Excellent.
So it can, since it was removed from YouTube and I believe Twitter as well. Today I submitted the transcript from the Rogan Experience podcast episode 1757 with Dr. Robert Malone to the Congressional Record. Troy Nails is also an MD. He's also a big tech wants to restrict your access to this information, but they cannot censor the Congressional Record.
Excellent. Well played.
Yeah. By deplatforming Dr. Robert Malone for voicing opposition and removing the interview, Twitter and YouTube are once again proving they don't work for their users, but for big pharma, big media, and the elites. When we stray away from our core principles of freedom of speech, expression, debate, democracy is lost. Today, I entered the transcript of the Rogan Experience into the Congressional Record to preserve the podcast forever. Big tech may be able to censor information on their own platforms, but they can't censor the Congressional Record. He referred to Malone as a widely published mRNA vaccine expert who went on the Joe Rogan Experience to raise concerns about the vaccine. YouTube removed the clip Friday. This video has been removed for violating YouTube's community guidelines. Blah, blah, blah.
But they couldn't expand on that,
Yeah.
could they? No real explanation on why it goes against their standards.
Yeah.
Because it's costing them money. That's what their standard is.
I don't fully get. I know there's a lot of people waking up that have been in the dark. People I know that were like hardcore Russia collusion people.
Yeah.
That are going, man, boy. They are out there.
Hopefully.
Middle of the road people that couldn't stand Donald Trump but are like, okay, Jesus Christ, this is ridiculous what's going on. They're seeing the censorship here. They're seeing this. And the fact is, there's never been a time in human history where debate taken out of the mix makes it better.
No.
Like that's not how this works.
The only time you silence someone is when you're afraid of them.
Yeah.
It's not because they're wrong. If they're wrong, you can clearly disprove that they're wrong.
Yeah.
And you can use facts and figures that can dispute what they're saying. And it's easy to dispute what they're doing.
Yeah.
When you can't, you just shut them up and discredit them and make them go away.
And think about what that says for society as a whole. If I'm Dr. Fauci, I'm science, what I say is science. Like if that's the standard, and anything that goes against that is fake news, misinformation, disinformation, and removed.
False. That's patently false based on definition, according to that.
And so what all that does is takes people that were skeptical in the first place and makes them more radical. And it wipes out debate. There's nothing better. Like I listen to Jimmy Dore a lot. I've talked about that. And I disagree vehemently with Jimmy Dore on many things. Lots of things. Yeah. He's a fucking super lib, but he's honest. And so when he talks about loan relief, student debt loan relief, I'm like, go fuck it. No. That you open that can of worms, and he's adamant about it. Adamant. That we need student debt relief, blah, blah. I'm like, no, you spend $200 on a worthless fucking degree from some university, and now you can't get a job, make any money because you got a worthless fucking degree that wasn't in engineering or mathematics or the sciences or law or medical. If you got some underwater basket weaving degree and now you can't fucking find work, well, I'm sorry, that shouldn't be on the fucking public tax dollar to pay off your fucking debts.
Right.
You know, there's millions of things. You can do anything you want. Either go get a legit degree or don't. What about all the people that worked their asses off, saved every penny, and paid off their debt?
Yeah.
Do you give them their fucking money back? Because that doesn't seem very fair. Not to mention, I think it's over 60% of the people come from well-to-do means that incur this debt. These are not fucking, inner city school kids who are incurring this debt that have racked this up that we all need to cover. So my point is, I can disagree wholeheartedly with Jimmy Dore on that. And I don't know as much as he does about it, but I disagree with him across the board. But I can still listen to him on other things and go, he changed my mind on Medicare for all. He brings up some arguments that I never would have ever fucking listened to had it come from someone else.
Okay.
And I'm on board going, God, he's got a point, man. We are wealthy enough as a nation to be able to look after all our people. It's not that many billions of dollars to make sure that people don't go into financial crisis for eternity for not being able to handle a $20,000 medical bill. We should be able as a nation to fix that. Medicare for All would do that. I don't know 100% where I stand, but I'm sure as shit willing to listen to him, and he's got valid arguments. Julian Assange is another one. I came around on Julian Assange, and when I listened to his robust debate about those subjects, that's the point.
Oh, a little respect goes a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. You don't have to agree with everything everyone says.
Nope.
But if you shut down that conversation, if I never hear that conversation or that side of the argument spelled out in lay terms, and you go, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'd like to hear what the other side says now to say why he's full of shit. And then I'll make my own decision.
It's like if you don't agree with one thing, you automatically don't agree with anything.
Yeah.
It's just across
Right.
the board. Just, oh, if that's the way you think, then fuck you.
Yeah.
You're completely dismissed. You have no valid points whatsoever.
And imagine if the settled science or I am science, anything that disagrees with me doesn't count. Imagine if you took that attitude towards any other aspect of what we do in our lives. Imagine if Roger Goodell was the final decision on which teams are better than which and which quarterback should start, and you can't even debate it.
Yeah.
Think about all the talk shows and debates that people have going, well, here's why I agree with you. Here's why I think you're full of shit on where the Lions are headed or why the Niners are fucked or not fucked. Like, you have these robust debates with people about subjects all the time.
Yeah.
I don't agree with you, Troy, on a lot of things in football. We can have heated debate. We can yell at each other.
Oh, yeah.
But it doesn't mean you end the fucking friendship. I can't speak to you anymore.
Right?
Like, what?
Yeah.
What fantasy world are these people fucking living in?
It is almost like another planet.
Yeah.
At times.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know how we got so lost and how we've gotten to where we are now
Yeah.
that you can't agree to disagree, that you can't respect a differing opinion from
Yeah.
someone. It's horrifying.
Yeah. I've been going back and forth with Graybo today. The problem is he's a really smart guy.
Oh yeah,
a
and I mean,
super wicked smart guy.
libtarded as they come.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
a great guy. Love the guy,
Yeah.
but it's just where he stands, and that's okay.
And I do like arguing with him on something because he's always got to come back because he is well researched, super smart robotics engineer. His father travels the world and involved in what does he do with medical teams? You know, looking at the
Colonoscopies.
science, not colonoscopies, but look at the science. So anyway, I said to him, well, what do you know, we were talking about the vaccines and ivermectin because he had this kid. I'm like, I imagine you got a lot of shit, don't you, in your arsenal? And he's like, well, I got vitamins. And I'm like, okay, just over the counter. And so it kind of led down that road of what do you think? And he's like, well, you know, I don't know. There's not much out there on ivermectin or this. And I said, okay, that's fair. But what do you think of the Miracle in Japan story we did the other day? And he's like, he wasn't familiar. And he had some personal shit going on, so he wasn't listening a lot. He's, you know, he had a loss, dear friend. So it's kind of a,
Tapas.
yes, it's kind of shitty. But anyways, we were talking about that kind of stuff. And so I would just send him stuff and then he would shit on it back. And then I would go, look at this in Uttar Pradesh in India. You're not going to find it on Google, but whatever. Take a look at this. Tell me what you think. And I don't know. He said, you know what? My dad knows a lot of people in India, has done research, medical stuff with people there. I'll reach out to him and see what he knows or has heard or thinks. And I was like, great. I'm open to hear it.
Yeah,
I'm
that'd be
open to hear it.
awesome. Yeah.
And if he comes back and says, I don't buy any of that, well, I can go, well, go fuck yourself, Ed. How about that?
Right.
And
Because
that's-
your dad didn't know it. Fuck off.
Fuck
No,
off.
But
But I could see, you know, this is the new motto of the show going forward. Something just doesn't feel right.
that's
You know what I mean?
true. Yeah.
Like everything just feels off, and it's one of those things. And I don't know if that's a hunch or what that is, but you're not telling me the whole fucking story.
There's definitely
So-
something. It just doesn't all add up. You know.
And people always want you to provide the proof, and it's like, hey man, I'm not doing your homework for you.
No.
This stuff is readily available. I point to it on the show all the time. There are other shows doing the same.
Yeah.
You can do some small research and get more informed than what you're getting
Yeah.
from the Western media. It's not even just America, but just Western media in general. So we'll see what he says, but I know he'll still listen,
Oh, yeah.
and I'll still be friends with him.
Absolutely.
We could disagree
That doesn't
wholeheartedly.
change.
No.
You can have a differing opinion.
Yeah.
What a novel idea.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And you know what? From time to time, he might be able to change my opinion.
Yeah.
How crazy and cool would that be?
Because guess what? None of us know everything.
No.
And most of us don't know fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
That's
know?
true.
We have our and just about everything. This is the biggest problem with all of it, is that almost everything that we hold dear to our hearts
Yeah.
is opinion, and almost nothing that we know for fact. It's all regurgitated facts from somebody else's
Yeah.
fucking mouth
Yeah.
pie hole telling us something. So where you choose to get your information and how you choose to get it,
Yeah.
no matter how in depth or how it, even on nobody's done this research.
Yeah.
That's the irony of it. You can have your opinion, you can think one way or the other, but it's all just what you've been told and what you choose to believe.
Yeah.
That's the tragedy of like Malone being silenced on this because he's one of the foremost experts in this field on this planet.
Yeah. He only went to UC Davis, University of San Diego, Northwestern, Harvard, and Stanford.
Yeah. Well, and they call him anti-vax when
Yeah.
he creates vaccines. That's
Yeah.
what he does for a living is create vaccines. So to call someone like that anti-vax
And if you understand,
is so disingenuous. It's fucking hysterical.
and his argument too, because we watched him on Rogan, he was great. Part of his argument, and other doctors that have been on that show that have been really informative, will warn you that it's kind of like drinking a glass of water is good for you. Drinking 2 gallons of water in a sitting will kill you. You know what I mean? Like, you can, just because something's good in one part doesn't mean it's great for you in 2, 3, 4, and 5 parts. And so what part of their argument was, when you're talking about these vaccines, and if you know that the pharmaceutical companies don't give a shit about your health, if you know that it's just capitalism at its finest, they're trying to make
It's a great place to start.
as much money as possible. If you know that, and they don't really give a fuck if anyone dies or gets better, they'd rather you don't get better, because then you can just keep treating them with more and more garbage. If you know that on its face, then when these people come out and say, hey, look, because they're not doing it here in America, 4th shots of vaccine,
Yeah.
they are starting to do that in Israel and some other places, and making a real push for that to get people a 4th booster shot. And they were saying, and I'll fuck this up, I'm sure, these doctors were saying, when you start over vaccinating and getting 2, 3, 4 doses, your body's ability to fight for itself stops.
Well, and it's also because you're treating a past variant, just like the Omicron. Everything we're doing now, everything that we're doing now, has nothing to do with Omicron. Nothing, because we didn't, when all this was developed, none of this was even out.
Yeah.
So, and the differences on how that works, and to expand on what you're saying, but that when you're treating that, your body's trying to fight that off, and it only knows how to fight that way. And so when a new thing comes around, it sees it and goes, oh, okay, this is what I have to do. I have to fight it this way. Well, this is a new variant, and it needed to be treated differently. So you're really not doing yourself any favors.
Yeah.
And you're depleting your own defense, your own immune
I
system.
think it lowers your T cells
Yeah,
and
a lot. Anybody
which-
that hasn't watched it, just watch it. I mean, you
It's
don't have
worth
to. You don't have to agree with it. You can hate it, but I promise you,
You'll get more
learn
out of it,
You'll learn
yeah.
a lot from it.
Yeah. And the doctor he had on the day before that, talking about pharmaceutical companies and how that really works and what their motives are 100% of the time, and it has very little to do with your health and well-being at all. And they take into account the billions of dollars in fines they're going to pay, and that's just tip of the iceberg. They don't care. They don't care. Oh, so 3 people died during our trial. Who cares? Whatever. Pay them off, and that's the kind of money you're talking about. So, when people start pushing these 3rd and 4th vaccines, I want to hear from the expert who goes, hey, before you don't just think this is something simple that you can do and fixes all the problems. Like, this could create a lot more problems for you going forward. It might lower your resistance rate in your body, your T cell goes down, and that's your ability to fight off other viruses. Like, there's a real thing there. I wouldn't recommend doing it. And it's like, oh, he's anti-vax, blah, 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 blah.
You know, I've never said there was anything wrong with it or not. All I've said is that you can't possibly tell me that there are no long-term side effects when there's been no long-term testing.
Yeah.
You can't possibly say that there, without a doubt, there is.
Yeah.
It's not, because you haven't been able to do those testings. It's just a fact.
And there's
I say
no
it's
way.
probable in this, and you can use different statistics to try and balance that, but you
Yeah.
can't say definitively that there are no long-term effects when this has only been a year.
And that they're safe long term, too.
Yes,
Like
safe
you
and
can
effective.
with
Then when you
safe-
start hearing those phrases, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
free
Yeah.
and fair,
Just
safe and effective.
Again, people, it's the same no matter what the business. Follow
Yeah.
the money. When you follow the money and you see Merck making profits for the first time, and you see Pfizer making $33.5 billion this year, and I don't know what J&J is doing, but like you can see where the incentive line is. You're dealing with a board who wants to know where their profits went from last year. You think next year when they go down to $10 billion in profits, they're not going to go, what happened to the other $23 billion? Like, well, how do you keep that going? Well, more jabs, more vaccines around the world, more vaccines in people, in younger people, and you know,
I mean, it's just something's not right.
Yeah.
I mean, something is
ain't
off.
right, T.
No,
ain't right.
I said I don't have to see the dick to know I'm getting fucked in the ass.
Yeah.
You know.
Amen. Right.
It's-
Right. Just doesn't feel right, does
Yeah.
it?
No.
The Washington Redskins.
Whoa!
Yeah, I said it.
Whoa! Okay.
Yeah, the Redskins.
Okay, the Washington football team.
No, the Redskins.
Okay.
Changing their name finally.
All right.
We're going to get the announcement on Groundhog's Day, February 2nd,
Okay.
as to what the new name is going to be. I really mean it. I think you feel the same way. Keep Washington football team.
I like it.
It's dope.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's such
Outside
a,
of Redskins?
it's such a spit in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're the Washington football team. You
Yeah.
don't like what we were called? Fine.
Yeah. 18 months after dropping Redskins amid pressure from the Native American groups, the Washington football team is finally ready to settle on a permanent name. The club told NBC's Today Show that it will announce the new moniker live during the morning show's February 2nd broadcast. It's my sister's birthday. Happy birthday, Chris. The team hasn't revealed any options being considered. Fans frequently suggested Red Tails.
Okay. Was
Yeah.
that a hawk? Red tail hawk?
It's a nod to the Tuskegee Airmen
Okay.
in World War II. That name is currently registered to Martin McCauley, 61-year-old actuary from Alexandria, Virginia, who said in July of 2020 the club could have it for free. So there's that possibility. That's Red Tails. There's also Red Wolves, Hogs.
Okay.
Hogs, kind of a nod to their fan
back
base.
To the, going back to the old line.
Yeah.
Hogs.
Yeah. Legends, Washington Legends. No.
No.
Sounds like a WNBA team, doesn't it?
So, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
Sparks, the Legends. The Wolfpack.
Okay. I don't hate it. I mean, it's.
I still stand by they go with Redskins and just put a Redskin potato on their helmet.
That's,
I mean,
it's perfect.
I mean,
it's
there's
perfect.
You can't.
Can't argue it.
No.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
It's the only thing better than football team.
Yeah. It might even be better than Washington Redskins with the Native American
Yeah.
Indian on there. The
Just put a
Indian with
spud on there.
just put a spud on there, a red spud.
That'd be awesome.
And it's already that maroon color
it's
scheme.
perfect.
It's perfect. You don't have to change their color scheme.
Yeah.
The name, you can still have Redskins on your NFL jersey and the collar. It's
Are they going to cancel those potatoes?
well, they are red-skinned potatoes.
Yeah, I know, but
That would be the only way you could take the Washington Redskins, and if you put the redskin potato on the helmet, that's the only.
what
way
if you play for
could.
that team that you get like they dye your skin red?
Yeah, I don't think that would work.
No, they would be Redskins.
Yeah,
They would have red skin.
I don't think so. Do you think those players 50 years from now are catching shit, like being yanked out of the Hall of Fame because they dared have Redskins as a name?
What? They took no.
No, like I mean, like is Joe the Isman? Is he in the Hall?
I bet she probably is. I don't know. I'm only because of. I'm not sure he deserves it, but
Yeah,
he probably is.
but any of those guys. Who was the running back, number 44?
John Riggins,
John Riggins,
Yeah.
Hall of Famer, right?
Green, Daryl Green.
Daryl Green. There you
you
go.
go.
I mean, in 50 years, it'd be like, he should have known. Like in the environment we're in right now,
Yeah. That
people
they'll get
being
canceled.
held to a standard that they can't possibly live up to for the time they lived in. If every time you show that logo or Redskins on their jersey,
Yeah.
I bet there's a push to pull
Maybe.
busts from the Hall. Why not in 50 years? If it continues down this path, of course they would.
should have known better.
Yeah, yeah. Should have known better. I remember there was one broadcaster who wouldn't say Redskins for years.
Really?
Yeah, he would just say
Before-
Washington way before.
Okay.
Yeah,
Super
years
Bowl.
ago.
Wait,
But he probably said it early in his career and then was like, I don't like this. Even that guy would be grounds for cancellation.
Yeah.
I mean, by today's standard, even though he was like the first broadcaster.
Isn't Cleveland changing their name?
Yeah,
Or is it just the logo? They're changing the name, I think, right? Too?
I think so. Did they
Steamers?
already change it? They might have already changed the
What
name.
are they?
I don't remember.
I still say Steamers was the way to go.
Cleveland Steamers.
Yeah.
That's not bad. It's not bad. The term's origin, Washington Redskins, is disputed, according to a 2016 Washington Post article. This there was in one of the newspapers, the state reward for dead Indians has increased to $200 for every Redskin sent to purgatory. Read an announcement in the Winona Daily Republican. This sum is more than the dead bodies of all Indians east of the Red River are worth. By 1898, Webster's dictionary began defining redskin with the phrase often contemptuous. But a 2016 Washington Post poll found that 90% of the 504 Native American respondents were not bothered by the team name.
Yeah. That's when you get to the root of it.
Yeah.
The Karens are the ones bitching, not
Right.
the actual Redskins.
However, that survey and other similar studies have been slammed by journalists and social scientists as being unreliable. Okay, don't.
Well, because it didn't agree with what the fuck they were trying to say.
They didn't say why.
Just shut it down.
Yeah, it's
Don't
unreliable.
back it up. Don't back it up.
Have a nice day. We said it's unreliable.
Well, wasn't that logo the chief drawn by a Native American, and that was in one of the
Well,
historic chiefs or something along those lines?
we've kind of got a Pocahontas situation here, I believe.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, a little bit. Supreme Court, I remember this, ruled in 2017 that a trademark law barring disparaging terms infringes on free speech rights. Prior to that, U.S. Patent and Trademark Office had tried to revoke the Redskins trademark because it was a racial epithet. Supreme Court got involved. This also had to do with the Slants, a group of Asian guys in a rock band that called themselves the Slants.
Okay, yeah.
And they were trying to fucking shut that down at the patent office. And the Supreme Court went, no, these guys can call themselves the Slants if they want.
If that's what they want to do.
Free speech.
Yeah.
Fuck off, patent office. Redskins was lumped into that one too. And so I don't know if you tried to name your team the N words. I don't know.
No.
I don't know
No.
what the.
It wouldn't
I don't
go
know what
over
would
well.
happen with that.
Well, there's nothing wrong with it.
Naming your team the N words.
Yeah.
Yeah. ENWARDS.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so benign.
I guess it all depends on who's naming it. The Slants were a bunch of Asian guys.
Yeah. Right.
NWA. You know.
Hey, there you
could
go.
use
It's a
it.
great one. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, the franchise wasn't always called the Redskins. In fact, it wasn't even always located in Washington. The team was born as the Boston Braves in 1932, but his name was called to Boston Red Sox, so they changed it to Boston Redskins the next year. It wasn't until 1936 they moved to D.C. The team was originally named Boston Braves because they played on Braves Field. They later changed to Redskins in an attempt to win more fans when they moved to Fenway Park, but the city just wasn't into football at the time, so they had to relocate. Team owner George Preston Marshall reportedly changed the name to avoid confusion with the baseball team, the Braves,
Yeah.
and retained Native American imagery of the team while also trying to pay respects to Coach Willie Henry Lone Star Diaz, who you're referring to. Mm-hmm. Notably, Diaz claimed to be Native American, but he was exposed by Indian Country Today media network as a white man in 2004.
Oh boy.
So I don't know how they dug that up and kind of,
Well, that's unreliable.
Elizabeth warned him.
That's unreliable.
Yeah, I don't know. So much confusion has been caused by our football team wearing the same name as the National League Baseball Club that a change appeared to be necessary. The fact that we have in our head coach, Lone Star Diaz, an Indian, together with several Indian players, has not, as may be suspected, inspired me to select the name Redskins. Besides my coach, I've got half a dozen Indian players signed up on the Redskins, and I'm going to have them wearing Indian war bonnets and blankets and everything. Marshall told the Associated Press in 1936. They still, to this day, claim,
Really leaned into that. Didn't
yeah. 1936. You can lean into shit in 36. No problem. He said the name was, they ownership to this day has always claimed the name was to honor the tribal communities. But after all the controversies, sponsors bitching,
Can they go with Washington Savages?
I don't think so.
No?
No,
It's got a good ring to it.
it does.
Yeah.
Savage has got a great ring to
Yeah.
it. But I don't
think they can do that.
No, I just don't. I don't.
Yeah. Well, I can't believe you dead named them.
Who, the Redskins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
don't care.
gosh.
I've got an authentic Redskins helmet upstairs.
I know, it's beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It really is. It's
Yeah.
one of my prized possessions.
Art Monk
No, you know what? That one's from the 70s.
was just going off on Hall of Famer Redskins.
Yeah, Art Monk's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that helmet, I remember buying that thinking at the time, 20 years ago, they're going to lose this logo.
Yeah.
You know, eventually the mob.
It's been coming for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they finally gave in.
Yeah.
That's why I thought the fact that they just went with the football team was just a slap in
Great.
the face. Fine. Fine.
Yeah.
We can't be the Redskins. Fine. We're not going to be anything else.
Yeah.
And we'll never be anything else.
Yeah.
We will be the team from Washington. Fuck off.
I like their logo. I
like it.
I liked
Yeah.
all of it.
I like it.
I didn't have any problem with it.
Yep. I hope I'm disappointed that they are
Yeah.
going to change the name.
Yeah, me too. I wonder if that we'll ever get to a point where, because if you watch a football team game, you see lots of that.
now you can't say it?
Yeah, you see lots of Redskin logos on all the jerseys,
Yeah,
all the
old
helmets in the
throwback,
crowd.
all that.
Yeah, are they ever going to get to a time where they won't let you in with that stuff? Where they cancel? Can you buy Redskins jerseys now or helmets?
I don't know. I did see a thing. That
and
came
can they wear them
across-
as a throwback like everybody does
I
nowadays?
don't. Well, they'll probably never do it as a throwback.
Because their
just
throwback
because-
before that, I think, was spears, like a maroon helmet with a couple of
yeah,
spears. You remember
yep,
that?
before the head.
Yeah, the Indian head.
No, I saw like the old school like buttons. Like fucking
yeah.
used to have those.
Yeah.
Redskins ones, and it was.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, I went there for like $2. I was like, I'm gonna buy all those.
Yeah, you
Just
should.
fucking all
Open a
of them.
store.
Yeah,
Start selling those like Beanie Babies,
there
man.
you go. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder how far this will go. If it'll be so offensive to someone in the crowd that they have to see, because those fans still wear those giant headdresses
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
face paint. I wonder if they'll get to a point where it's like,
I wish the fans would lean into it. They're like, I don't give a shit what you call yourselves. We're gonna be the Redskins forever,
Yeah.
for life.
buy up all the patches and just insert them themselves on their new jerseys.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever you want on there. I know I would if it was the Detroit Redskins. I'd be
Yeah.
sporting that Redskins
Hell
jersey
yeah.
all the time.
We'll see. We'll see what becomes offensive next.
Well, J.K. Rowling,
Oh yeah.
she's been canceled again.
Again?
Yeah,
She's uncancelable.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Stand tough, girl.
Like Chappelle.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Say what you want. Whatever.
It's these. We always laugh about these like honorary degrees and honorary building names. Like they're not based on anything. It's not like you went to school for 4 years, earned a degree. Like you give someone an honorary degree, it's like,
Yeah. Here.
yeah, here you go. And then they go,
We
"Oh,
like what
didn't mean that."
what you did. So here.
Today, you can't take a
then-
degree away from
And
someone
then
that
now
actually
you
earned
take
it, though.
back. No. Well, you can take a Heisman. You can
You
take
can't, though.
You can take an Emmy.
No, you could take the trophy,
Yeah.
but you can't take the Heisman. Now, O.J. Simpson, hate him as I do, O.J. Simpson won the fucking Heisman.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You can take
he
the
did.
banners down.
Yeah. but Fab Five. We're good. We're good. I'm fine. But J.K. Rowling, it's like, okay, you just painted my name on a building and now you're going to take it down because woke world is upset with it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. I didn't build and finance the building. You tried to capitalize on my popularity, asshole.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You just took the most famous names in this country and put them on fucking buildings. And now you're trying to say, well, they're not perfect in what they do, so take their name off it? Ooh.
And again, what you really say wrong?
Nothing.
At all.
Nothing.
In any of this.
I don't have it.
What warrants any of this fucking shade she's getting?
J.K. Rowling is 100% and only exclusively 100% standing up for young women's rights.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
She's not trying to exclude anybody. She's
No.
not trying. She's just going, hey, look, while you're running, like speeding down this road, just know that women are getting fucked. Just getting plowed over.
Yeah.
Can we not forget about them for a second, please? It's basically what she said. Secondary school specializing in performing arts has quietly canceled Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling, replacing her as a house name over her comments and viewpoints surrounding trans people. The Boswell School in Chelmsford, Essex, had honored the writer for one of its school groups, which had also been labeled with the quality of self-discipline. It emerged today she had been replaced over the summer with Olympic hero Dame Kelly Holmes. The school had announced plans to review Rowling's name in July after requests from students and staff. One parent said, "This is censorship. J.K. Rowling is a good example of achievement through adversity. Not everyone thought she should go. A lot of schools seem to be doing the same thing at the moment, sadly. The school's issues were laid bare in a newsletter. A strong house identity empowers our students to participate, thrive in all aspects of school life, both in and out of the classroom. Here at Boswell, we have 6 houses which are represented by British citizens who have excelled in an area of our Boswell's Learning Bridge, which includes integrity, emotional intelligence, grit, resourcefulness, self-discipline, and bravery. Following numerous requests by students, we are reviewing the name of our Red House rolling. And in light of our school policy and beliefs, a place where people are free to be, staff have been invited to put forward suggestions, blah, da, 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 da. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken,
What is that title, Dame, by the way? Whatever they put in there. Is that like the female version of Sir?
Yes.
Like Elton John?
Yes.
Dame is the female version of that?
100%.
Did they assume gender?
maybe. Yeah, that'll
just
probably get
checking.
tackled next.
Right? Like Dame Judi Dench?
Dame Judi Dench. Sir David Attenborough is
Yeah.
on a lot of
Yeah,
buildings.
Sir Elton John.
Sir Elton John, Sir Paul McCartney.
Yes, exactly.
Florence Nightingale, Stephen Hawking. I don't know if he was knighted or sirred.
Sirloin of beef.
Yeah. Sirloin of beef is great. I crown thee sirloin of beef. Winston Churchill and J.K. Rowling have been removed from Holy Trinity Church of England Primary School in Richmond. They canceled Winston Churchill and Rowling for not being diverse enough.
Richmond.
Go Richmond.
Go Richmond.
Previously had houses named after the Prime Minister and the Harry Potter author alongside David Attenborough. That school that was complaining, the students were complaining.
Were they?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Students were aged 3 to 11.
An uproar, were they?
Yeah, they were in a tizzy. They were in a tizzy. You know those 3 to 11-year-olds,
Yeah.
how they get politically involved with this
So
stuff.
woke.
Yeah. Wow. You expect me to
That's
believe
funny.
that? 3 to
is
11-year-olds.
funny.
Good. Take her name off. Who cares?
Yeah, well, do you even want it? I mean, fine.
Yeah.
Like she said, I didn't ask for it. You did it.
Yeah.
Piss off.
I don't need you. I have more money than all of you. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah, well,
We're closing in. This is going to be a celebration to end all celebrations. What day is today, T? Today is the 4th.
it was the 4th.
We are 2 days away from the biggest day in the history of this country, I think. January 6th.
Oh, the anniversary
Yeah.
of the biggest, whatever.
Insurrection.
Yeah.
The insurrection. Dude, I would argue, I think media people are so putrid, are such scum of the earth across the board. I think they love 9/11. Love it. They're just going about their day, and what do they want? They want eyeballs. They want people listening to them and watching them and all the time.
Yeah.
When do you get those bursts? Well, it happens when big events happen.
Absolutely.
World Wars, 9/11, the insurrection of January 6th. Like this is payday to these people. This is must-watch TV. The riots in Ferguson, riots in Baltimore,
It's when they make their money.
Black Lives Matter riots. They don't give a fuck about any of those people. None of them. Don't think for a second they give a shit about any of you. Say what they will from their TV monitors. They don't care about any of you. So
Rates and clicks.
January 6th is really a kind of boring story. Here's the problem. I don't know of one conservative at all, ever, who cheered on January 6th. I don't know of him.
No.
If you can show me a conservative with any platform whatsoever that was like, yeah, hell yeah, we needed to go in there and make a statement and fucking Trump, blah, blah, blah. No. Every single conservative with a fraction of a brain said, this is awful. This is the worst thing that could happen. I hope that all those people are arrested and thrown in jail.
Yeah. I remember watching it go down, and it was like, yeah, well, when it was just the protest, or before they started storming the Capitol. Like, yeah, all right, whatever. And then they started doing it and just kind of going, no,
Back up,
don't, fuck, don't fucking do it.
And it's more that we're going to have to hear about this forever. It's like, oh, God damn it.
Well, just like anything else, you just lose your credibility, man.
Yeah.
You had a reason, you had a point, right or wrong.
Yeah.
But once you cross that line,
It's over.
once you smash the
Yeah.
the store windows, you lose your fucking credibility.
Yeah, and those videos are really bad. Some of
Yeah.
those videos are really, really bad.
Yeah.
And who knows? Who knows when you've got a ginned up populace, when you've got a bunch of people that are egging each other on, had they gotten into the Capitol like floor where senators were hiding
Yeah.
down in the balcony and
Oh
shit,
yeah,
like
that mob mentality. You
that-
get whipped
yeah.
up into a frenzy.
That
I have
could have
no
been-
telling. It could have been really, really bad.
Yeah.
It could have been really, really bad.
yeah, and I think those people would have felt horrible afterwards. I don't think they went in with a purpose like this is what we're doing. We're
Yeah.
taking the Capitol
Yeah,
back.
you get caught up in the moment. That
Yeah.
mob mentality, whipped into a frenzy.
Yeah. It's kind of what you see after Michigan State wins a big basketball game or
Yeah,
football game. You know what I
sure,
mean? And
yeah.
next thing you know, you're burning couches.
Yeah.
Something you didn't plan to do that night and
No,
never would have done without
Just happened.
the whole crowd cheering you on. And it's what it does.
I feel like the promos that have been coming up to this date,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're starting to fluff the numbers a little bit on some things.
5 deaths. That one. Yeah. That's a little
Did you
fluff.
catch that one too?
Oh,
I
yeah.
heard hundreds of officers injured.
Yeah.
Hundreds
Mm-hmm.
of officers injured. Now, I'm not saying nobody got hurt,
Yeah.
but I don't think I've ever heard that hundreds
Yeah.
of officers were injured.
Yeah. I don't recall hearing that either.
No.
Definitely there was some, the one guy that was featured in that documentary, it might be an HBO doc, where he got his badge ripped off and he got kind of thrown into the middle of the whole thing. And he's like a Marine dude, like badass dude. And when they finally got him back, he was missing like his baton, his badge, and it was bad. He ended up in the hospital for weeks or days or weeks or something like that. And he's come out, and now he doesn't want to be a Capitol Police officer anymore. So he's going to be a CNN contributor. And I'm like, oh,
So shocker. Okay.
yeah. And the guy that took that badge or got a hold of that badge, they've never found one of the items, but I think the badge was buried in his garden,
Oh, really?
his mom's backyard or something.
Jesus, how deep they go to find that?
Right?
Yeah.
But it was like, I don't know where it is. Someone threw it. It's in a lake. All right, it's in my garden. Jeez Louise. It's in my garden.
I wanted to keep it.
So they said they pull up this dirty badge. It's like, there's dirt all in there from this dipshit's garden.
Yeah.
It was a bad day, bad story. I've never said it was a good
Not
thing
at
in
all.
any way.
Nope.
Do I think Donald Trump incited a riot? I don't believe that personally. That's just my belief. I understand a lot of you do believe that.
Yeah.
You're entitled to that belief. That's fine. I think this is a
Could he have done more to squash it? Yes, definitely.
yeah,
But
maybe.
did he incite it personally?
Do you? Here's what I don't believe. I don't believe what he was saying was for people to go down to the Capitol and storm the Capitol.
Yeah.
He wanted, like he's seen 1,000 other protests do.
protest.
Your voices be heard. Let them know that you're not buying this shit.
Yeah.
And I think that's politician speak. They all do it. They all let's go down there and make our voices be heard. They can't ignore us all. Like whatever their buzz sentences are that they say. But when you've got a committee, quote unquote, I'm using air quotes for committee looking into this, but you're not asking those central questions. Like, I do want to know what was said between Capitol Police and Nancy Pelosi. When other people were asking for Capitol Police backup or National Guard backup, why were they denied? Why did this happen the way it did? Why was this able to happen? Washington, D.C. has millions of people protesting all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Whether it's the pussy fucking
Yeah, it's
stuff
not new.
or we hate Trump stuff, storming this. We don't want Kavanaugh.
Million Man March, wasn't that in D.C.?
Was that in D.C.?
Million Man March, I think.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe. These are routine. These
Common, very
these
common.
groups know how to handle a crowd. So why was this handled so poorly? It's not like you had people with machine guns in the crowd storming and literally going to war with.
Yeah.
But there's a weird element there where they're holding doors open and maybe you could see, oh yeah, at this point it's a police tactic. We knew we were super outnumbered, so we're better off to let them in than blah blah. Well, okay, let's talk about that. Let's see how we got here. But when you start hiding those phone call records and won't release those, it makes it sound shady. It makes it sound like someone was ordered not to send in relief, that they wanted it to look like a shit show, which it did. And it's been played on for a year. For a year. This is the biggest win they have for next November's election. How do you ride January 6th to next November?
Yeah, exactly. How do you stretch it out?
Right.
Yeah.
So what they're going to do is have their team meet and come out with a 9/11 style commission report, and hopefully that lands late summer, going into the full on debate stuff for November.
Yep.
Like that's the plan, right?
Clearly.
because you
It's the
can't.
playbook.
What Biden can't do is say, "Well, my track record has been amazing since I took office." Like,
Yeah, you can't run on your laurels.
no, you can't run on your accomplishments. You don't have any. You can't run on Kamala Harris's accomplishments. She doesn't have any. That's undisputed.
Right.
Like, what they had to circle back to us. Remember to tell us, name one thing you're proud of that he's done in foreign policy. And they just, so, I'm going to get back to you on that. What? What? And I think it was climate change. Like, can you throw a bigger fucking just Hail Mary into the air?
Yeah.
Climate change. Really?
We're getting back in that Paris Accord.
Yeah, that's us. We're doing that.
The bad red man got us out of it.
So, yeah. So, of course, we knew that there was going to be a former Vice President Joe Biden and current Vice President Kamala Harris will deliver remarks at the U.S. Capitol on Thursday to mark the first anniversary of what will be, hopefully, a remembrance for decades to come. The remembrance of that horrible day that almost none of us survived, but we did, thankfully.
Except for the five
5
deaths, apparently.
Yeah. Only one at the scene was shot by a cop, and no one will answer about that, Ashley Babbitt. The hit pieces are coming out on her, by the way. They're shitting on her in the press now,
course.
ramping up to
Make
the
sure.
January 6th.
Yeah.
Make sure we know she was.
Preemptive strikes.
Yep. The pair will speak in one part of a series of events organized by none other than the great Nancy Pelosi and other Democrats in solemn observance
They gonna
for the
take a knee?
officers who died protecting the Capitol from the rioters. Ooh, do BLM next. Do BLM next. Can we take solemn observance to the thousands of cops, the dozens of people that were murdered in those riots over the summer? No, just this one.
This one.
Didn't two of them commit suicide, and one of them had like a stroke 3 days after the riots? And I don't know who the fourth one is.
Not sure.
It's
Yeah,
the one that got
they might be
bashed in the
just-
head with a fire extinguisher. Remember they tried to pass that nonsense off?
Yeah.
It turned out that was total bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. But that was
The only one that died that day at the Capitol was Ashley Babbitt.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was shot.
The White House confirmed Biden and Harris' visit on Sunday, the same day Kevin McCarthy issued a letter to Republicans that slammed Democrats for failing to determine how the building was so easily compromised. It's a great question. Yeah.
Yes.
McCarthy condemned the rioters, saying their actions were lawless and as wrong can be. However, he blasted the Dems for failing to determine how security was breached after an entire year and accused them of instead using the incident as a partisan political weapon to divide the nation. Our Capitol should never be compromised, and those who broke the law deserve to face legal repercussions and full accountability. Unfortunately, 1 year later, the majority party seems no closer to answering the central question as to how the Capitol was left so unprepared and what must be done to ensure it never happens again. Instead, they're using it as a weapon to further divide the country. 5 people died in connection. That's the key.
In connection.
Yeah.
There was a guy that worked there one time,
Yeah.
and then he died.
In connection to the riot. So that means they were in D.C.
Yeah.
That means they were a Capitol Police member or whatever. They're connected. They didn't directly result from the
The
riot.
Congresswoman's father passed away in Pennsylvania that
Yeah.
day.
I've said it 1,000 times, Troy. It's one of my favorite stories out on 9/11 when that woman was trying to claim that her son was killed on 9/11 in a motorcycle accident 3 hours north in Poughkeepsie or whatever. You're like, no.
Yeah.
You don't get to claim 9/11 benefits because your dipshit kid was killed in a motorcycle accident that day. It's not how this works.
Hey, it's a great way to phrase it. Hey, my son died on 9/11.
Yeah. What are you going to say?
Sure, it's fact. Can't argue
Yeah.
that.
When I was doing my COVID shit and I was talking to the doctors and they're like, well, have you had any, do you know anyone that is close to you that's had COVID? And I was like, I'm thinking, if I get asked that stupid question, I go, yeah, my brother.
Yeah.
He's in Arizona,
Yeah,
but
right. Yeah, my brother had
my,
it, for
my
sure.
brother, he's currently got COVID. And so I was on Zoom calls with him.
Yeah.
Made a couple long phone conversations.
We
with
don't
him.
know exactly how this stuff,
Yeah, I don't know,
transmits.
but-
So
Yeah.
hard to say for sure.
Have I been in close contact with anyone with COVID? Yeah, gee. I mean,
Yeah. Yep.
talk to him literally every day he's had COVID. So, It's probably where we got it, T, if we got
Gotta
it.
be. It's in the house. That's where it came from for sure.
5 people died in connection to the riot. I'd like to know what their definition of connection is. At least 100 law enforcement agents were injured. At least.
At least 100. Yep.
Okay.
I heard hundreds.
Okay.
When it was phrased before, but
I don't remember seeing the feel-good pieces of visiting them in the hospital and whatnot, because you'd think they'd be interviewing them every chance they got.
would hope.
Hundreds. Does that count as a guy that, got a little scratch on his hand because he was pushing the crowd? And
Yeah.
Someone's
well,
nail
he
got
was-
him.
Yeah, he was.
That's an injury, right?
Yeah. If they weren't doing that, he wouldn't have got scratched.
Yeah. Okay.
So
700 people have been arrested for their alleged roles in the riots. Dude, I saw the images. They're deep diving, like one of those long corridor shots where it's packed with people and there's just circle guy way in the back.
Yeah.
We want to know who this guy is. It's like, did you do that with Antifa and BLM riots? I'd
God, no.
love to know. Did they arrest 700 people total in the BLM riots?
no,
I don't
God,
think
no.
they did.
I don't think so. And if they did, they were let go immediately.
Immediately.
Yeah. They weren't even held.
Ahead of the Congress winter recess, Pelosi announced she was planning a commemoration with a series of events at the Capitol. She revealed events will begin with a pro forma session at noon, where there will be a moment of silence and a statement from the chair presiding over the House chamber, site of a standoff between Capitol Police and rioters that day. In the historic Cannon Caucus Room, presidential historians Doris Kearns Goodwin and John Meacham will have a conversation moderated by Librarian of Congress Dr. Carla Hayden to establish and preserve the narrative of January 6th. House pro forma session, 12 p.m., House floor prayer. Pledge a statement from the chair and a moment of silence. Historic preservation at 1 o'clock. Member testimonials presided over by Jason Crow. Members will, they'll reflect on that day they went through. Another prayer vigil at 5:30.
Oh, good.
Can't get
yeah.
enough prayers
Can't
in.
get enough of those.
That'll take place on the center steps of the U.S. Capitol.
Okay.
For members of the House and Senate to join in observation of the day and prayer and music. This will
You think anybody goes out and protests?
probably not. There'll probably be so much National Guard on hand.
Well, I'm not saying storm it again. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
be out front, making some noise.
All events will be live streamed so that members can watch and participate in the districts. Trump issued a statement bashing the January 6th committee. Why isn't the Unselect Committee of Highly Partisan Political Acts investigating the cause of January 6th protest, which was rigged, which was the rigged presidential election? Does anybody notice that they want to stay as far away from the topic as possible? The numbers don't work for them or even come close. The only thing they can do is not talk about it. Look what's going on now in Pennsylvania, Arizona, Georgia, Wisconsin, to a lesser extent, Michigan, where the numbers are horrendously corrupt in Detroit. But the rhinos in the Michigan Senate and House don't want to touch the subject. He'll be having a news conference on January 6th from Mar-a-Lago to discuss all these points and more. Until then, remember, the insurrection took place on November 3rd. It was completely unarmed protest of the rigged election that took place on January 6th. 5 people died the day of the Capitol riot, including Brian Sicknick, Capitol Police Officer.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. Trump should probably just take a knee.
He might want to sit this
some
one
of these
a little
out.
bit.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like-
that's always been his problem. He can't. He's a fucking child.
Yeah.
And he can't sit out when he needs to.
Well, look, all this does is invite, they're going to have this ridiculous, absurd fucking solemn observance with prayers and candlelight vigils and woe is me stories about almost being attacked. AOC will talk, even though she was 3 buildings away across the street in no danger ever at the Capitol. Let these people tell their bullshit stories. Not that it was total bullshit, but you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Overindulge. Go
It
way
will
over the top.
It will be exaggerated.
Pay attention to the news channels' graphics of that day and the music beds they choose to use to make it sound like the whole country's in mourning together, which is bullshit. The only thing that can upstage that nonsense is Donald Trump from Mar-a-Lago giving them exactly what they want,
More
which
ammunition.
is, they're not going to take his word and go, well, he's bringing up a solid point. No, they're going to shit all over him. Sit this one out. Let them prove in court. Let them open up all the files. Let discovery happen when they try to do this, and we'll see who was involved. We know the feds were involved. That goes without saying, just like they were involved in the Stretch and Gretchen, kidnapping plot.
Yeah.
You know?
That sounded like it was coming unraveled last
Yeah.
I heard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That whole thing's come unraveled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They talked 5 dopes into fucking participating with 12 feds.
Yep.
12 feds talked 5 dopes into fucking plotting this. And then they turn around and arrest them before they can execute it. It's just, but that's what they do.
Yeah.
They're paid to infiltrate these groups.
You're not gonna hear that.
Yeah. But yeah, this woman's talking about how she was rammed by Ashley Babbitt and stalked by her. And I read this. Look, Ashley Babbitt's dead. It's a sad story. Should Ashley Babbitt have been breaking through the Capitol window? Fuck no.
Right.
Did she deserve to get shot? I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know what fear that cop had.
Yeah.
She was unarmed. She was shot and died on the floor. I can see both sides of that.
Yeah, I have no issues with it. In all honesty,
Yeah.
I mean, that cop has a duty to defend
Yeah.
that building and those people in that building. And if somebody's coming at it in those, it's not like she knocked on the door and was like, "Hey, can I come in?" and peeked in the door and you shot her in the face. No, you go kicking in the window and you come climbing through. Well, I don't know who's coming after you. I don't know who you are. I
Yeah.
have no problem with her being shot. I really don't.
And in fairness, when we do these stories and it involves some guy breaking into something and a cop shoots him, we use the same arguments then
Right.
that we can use with that story.
Absolutely right.
Hey, man, you don't want to get shot by the cop. How about you fucking don't?
He doesn't know what she's
Crash
got,
through the window.
what she's doing, what she's capable of, and
Yeah.
and her breaking through could have been the first of 500
Yeah.
about to come barreling through there. So,
At the same time, I will say, in a situation like Michael Brown, we're going to have 14 investigations, 3 autopsy reports, witness testimony from everybody that's ever met the fucking guy or the cop. That's the way that goes.
Yeah.
This one, they don't want to talk about it.
No.
Nobody wants to mention what he's just a hero cop.
yeah,
Okay, I'm usually on the side of the cops 100%, almost always. Not always, but almost always.
yeah,
I believe in them. I trust in them that they're doing the best they can in a really tough spot. A lot of cases. So in this one, it just seems weird that nobody wants to look at that. What are you afraid of?
yeah.
People that stand by the cops will probably stand behind this guy for the most part, give him the benefit of the doubt at least.
You would think, but
no.
I'm willing to give him a pass on that one.
They always do this. We first revealed last year Babbitt, a Trump supporter.
Yeah, yeah,
So what? Half the country is a Trump.
yeah.
Why do we have to define this? Who cares? Who was fatally shot by a police while trying to enter the Capitol during the insurrection.
Do you even have to? She's kicking in the windows and breaking into the. Do you actually have to put that in there? I think that probably goes.
You do.
Without.
Yeah, in
Without
journalism.
saying, I know,
Yeah.
but I think that pretty much goes without speaking. If she was at the Capitol that day,
Yeah.
storming the Capitol, probably a Trump supporter. Just a guess.
She slammed and rammed Celeste Norris's SUV,
Hot.
or with her SUV,
Oh.
in July of 2016. At the time, Babbitt then engaged in an extramarital affair with Norris's then boyfriend of 6 years, Aaron Babbitt, the man Babbitt would eventually wed. Speaking publicly for the first time, the jilted lover Norris decided to detail the horrors she faced at the hands of the late Air Force veteran who has been hailed as a hero by right-wingers for her part in the 2020 attack on the Capitol.
I'm not sure about that, but okay.
Yeah, there's some.
Yeah, I'm
Some,
not.
I
I'm not
don't-
getting any right wing newsletters, just for the record. So
Yeah,
I'm
me
not sure
either.
what the
Me
chatter
either.
is on that side either.
Me either.
I'd like to keep it down the middle.
Yeah, QAnon probably is, but I don't know even know where she stands for that. Her first encounter with Babbitt in 2015 was a rude one when the future insurrectionist rammed her vehicle 3 times with an SUV and proceeded to exit the car, pound on the window of Norris's Ford Explorer, challenging her to a fight. She pulls up yelling and screaming. It took me a good 36 seconds to figure out who she was. Norris added that Babbitt also hit her with a barrage of all sorts of expletives.
Oh, fucking bitch.
Yep. Probably called her the C word.
Oh man, that's a
Telling
good
me
one.
to get out of the car. She was going to beat my ass. Norris says the bad blood between them began in 2015 when Babbitt engaged in a months-long fuck session with Norris.
Yeah.
Longtime live-in boyfriend, Norris's longtime live-in boyfriend, Aaron. When she learned of the relationship, Norris called Babbitt's husband and told him she was cheating.
Okay.
So, I know this is a hit piece meant to come out right on the doorstep of
Of course.
January 6th anniversary. This story is so common. So Ashley Babbitt is married, cheating on her husband with this girl's boyfriend.
Yep. She finds out.
She finds out, immediately calls the husband.
Yep.
And then Ashley's like, "You fucking cunt. Why'd you tell my husband?
Yep.
Get out of here. I'm going to beat your ass." Like,
I mean, she did ram her vehicle 3 times and then.
ram, love tap. I don't know what it was. Maybe. Chased her down the street.
But she didn't actually beat her ass? That's
No.
the disappointing part.
No.
Should have dragged her out of the car and whipped that ass.
Yeah. They say in the months before her death, she became consumed by pro-Trump conspiracy theories and posted angry screeds on social media. She also had a history of making violent threats.
Again, you know what you don't know either is how those two came to be. Now, she hit her vehicle 3 times and said she was going to beat her ass. How were they in the same place at the same time? Is what's not told in that story.
What she said was, I was driving down the road this way. This SUV passed me, whipped a shitty, got behind me, and then at a stop sign or a stoplight or something, like bumped her.
Oh, okay.
And then hit her again. Yeah.
I see one of those where she comes after her, like to say something, and then she's about to get her
Yeah.
ass whipped. Like, oh, she attacked me. Like, yeah, she rolled up on her fucking front yard.
Yeah, and it sounds like as soon as this all blew up, the you're fucking my boyfriend, blah blah blah. She moved out of Aaron Babbitt's house, and Ashley moved right in, and then they got married.
Oh, well, see, happily ever after.
Exactly.
You can't fuck with true love, man.
Yeah. Anyways, Ashley was issued a criminal summons on charges of reckless endangerment, misdemeanor. She's also charged with malicious destruction of property. That's over $5,000, I believe, is malicious.
Okay.
Norris later got a judicial order that barred Ashley from attempting to contact her, committing further acts of violence against her, and going to her home or workplace. Anyway, yeah. So,
Well, yeah, you expect those hit pieces to come
yeah,
out.
heads up for more of those.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if, I wonder if this is going to be like 9/11, where every January 6th,
Yeah.
it's going to just keep coming back. There's
Yeah.
going to be an anniversary.
Yes. Certainly while the Dems are in power right now.
Yeah, I think it.
And they really thought they were going to have a lot, like the country was going to go, "Oh my God, you guys have saved us all from that orange bad man."
Yeah.
Like they really thought that, and then they fumbled every fucking snap
Yep.
for a year straight.
Yeah.
And so
They had a chance.
Yeah, sure they did. You know, I wouldn't have agreed necessarily with their policies, but they had a chance if done properly. Instead, it's been a utter shit show from the moment that idiot got into office. And so, what are you gonna fucking go on?
Yeah, Deb, nothing.
What? Like, tell me what it is. For liberal listeners right now, tell me what Joe Biden or Kamala Harris has done that you go, well, that's awesome.
Well, they didn't even have anything to run on in the first place except we're not Trump.
Yeah.
That was the whole premise of the whole
know.
thing. Yeah, but we're not Trump. So
not Trump.
vote for us
Yeah,
instead.
stability.
Yeah.
Yeah, get back to honesty. And Biden, they're beating the shit out of him because at the time, I just kept saying it. You're full of shit, sir. You're full of shit. When he's like, I will shut down the virus. I will end this pandemic. Like,
Look.
he screamed that from the trees. Everybody knew that was bullshit. Everybody
was good
with a
enough to get
functioning
votes.
brain knew that was bullshit.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bowl of soup.
Just say whatever.
Vote for the bowl of
Say
soup.
whatever it takes. You don't have to actually do it. At least Trump
Why
tried
do
to
it?
build the wall.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, you know that you have an annual physical to make sure that you're healthy.
Annual.
You should.
Yeah.
But do you know what to do to make sure that you remain financially fit? Mark and Jay at LPL Financial specialize in thoughtful and objective investment guidance designed to keep your finances in shape. Call today at 248-626-2000 and ask for either Mark or Jay.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
You caught me off guard there. I stabbed myself in the eye with the fucking glasses there.
Really?
Yeah, I tried to get it on it quick. And,
Oh, boy.
yeah,
Is it watering?
We had an injury.
I've got a woman here.
Where?
Not here.
Oh, shit.
So she took to this website, and I think it's in the UK, Baby Center,
Okay.
where bitches that have spit out kids talk about how great they are for having
Okay.
kids.
Yeah.
One of those things. So she's talking about this condition her husband have. I wasn't familiar with this disorder. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It says her husband unwittingly gropes and has sex with her due to a rare sleep disorder.
Okay.
Wonder if I have that. Do you have that?
Yeah. Yeah. I call it the midnight boner syndrome.
Yeah, yeah. That's not what they call it, but midnight boner syndrome. I like that.
Yeah.
But the other hens in the group,
Yeah. Oh boy.
she's being abused. Rape. Yeah. So she says, I've known since about 2 years ago, 2 years into our relationship, it's a 10-year relationship, that so-and-so is touchy while he sleeps. I've done the Googling and know that it's a rare sleep disorder, and I do believe my man when he tells me he's asleep. It's mostly just a mild annoyance to me. He doesn't do it every night, but he can go through periods of it being better and worse. Mostly I wake up, it's touching over clothes, him interesting himself and thrusting. Does that mean
Yeah, sure, probably.
jacking it?
Interesting himself.
Yeah, I like that.
I might have to use that.
Yeah,
one.
interesting
I'm going to
himself.
interest myself.
Excuse me, ladies. I'm going to go interest myself for a little bit. I'm back in no time. Hands in my underwear, but I nearly always wake up quickly and usually push him, which wakes him up, and then he stops. Sometimes I wake up to find my clothes off or pulled down.
Oh,
It does have an effect on me because even though I trust my partner of 10 years and I know he's asleep and can't help it, I feel used and vulnerable. It's hard to explain how I feel. I have woken up before to him attending to have full-on sex with me. Either once or twice, it's been the slight penetration that's woken me up. Sometimes he's deep dicking though.
yeah. Get all the way in there.
Yeah, he's fucking.
right.
He's deep diving occasionally.
How deep of a sleeper is it
I don't know.
to get all the way in there?
You know what? She goes on to talk. Here's how deep. We didn't get to bed till 4 a.m. this morning after drinks with friends.
Oh, well.
Both had a lot to drink.
There you go.
You know,
Yeah,
that's when you get
sure.
that deep dicking going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's snoring into the pillow and he's just fucking sound asleep
Having
driving,
at it.
pile driving that
Making her
thing.
bite it.
Yeah. I was woken up with him having sex with me. I moved forward and said something along the lines of, what the fuck? But this time he didn't let go. He held me there. It was only a few seconds before I screamed out and he woke up and let go. But it's the first time I've felt terrified. Out of my hand towards my bum and discovered how he managed to do that with my clothes on. Wait.
Oh, he got in there with the clothes on?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he just rammed through that son of a
I
bitch.
don't know. Pull it off to the side.
A huge hole ripped in my leggings.
Oh, yeah. There you go. See?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
I must have been in too much of a deep sleep after the alcohol to wake up sooner. I told him to get out, and he's been sick twice since then from too much to drink.
Oh, yeah.
See, he keeps
I think
hammering the
I'm
bottle.
yeah, I'm sensing a pattern
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
probably. And listen, don't you have wifely duties? Aren't you obligated in some ways? And
Yeah.
besides, it's not like he's beating on you. He's trying to give you the deep dicking.
Yeah.
Lean into it. Take
Lean
it.
into it, yeah.
Yeah.
Buck back from time to time.
Yeah, right?
You know?
Come on. Listen, I promise you, if this roles were reversed,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be pissed.
No.
I wouldn't be pissed.
No. Can you imagine getting mad? You wake up from a
Right.
deep sleep and she's just fucking
Going at
reverse
it.
cowgirl all
Right.
over you.
Oh,
like,
you-
Oh, you dirty. I didn't consent to this.
Yeah, how
Get off
dare
me.
you? How dare you?
What do you take me for, a whore?
Rape! Rape!
Rape. I was
You're a
raped.
raper.
Here's what's hurting her the most. What do you think's hurting her the most?
Not being properly lubed.
Yeah, well, that would be one.
Yeah.
No.
Forced anal.
He hasn't yet apologized.
Oh.
You got to think on her terms.
Yeah.
She-
Yeah, that's
she
fair.
needs
Listen,
that-
yeah.
that apology.
Yeah, I'm not sure how this relationship goes, but I think it could work in both their advantage. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think he needs to be a little softer and a little gentler about this.
but he's asleep.
No, I
it's a
understand.
medical condition.
But when he's awake,
We don't fault the disabled, Troy.
no, I definitely not. But when you're awake, you're not helping your cause, bro. Listen, you can do things that would allow you to be able to get away with this. An apology, perhaps.
Yeah, they could be young. He'll learn.
I don't think she's young. That's my guess.
Well, he hasn't yet apologized, looked at me, or said anything. He looks rough, dozing, has been sick.
Well, you kicked him out. Didn't she say she kicked him out?
Yeah, but then he's been shit-faced and sick multiple times since then. And he's been dozing and has been sick. I know how a killer hangover feels. These two are just
Oh, yeah.
lighting up the bar scene
Right?
nightly.
Oh, yeah.
I know how a killer hangover feels, but I had just done that. But if I had just done that to my partner in my sleep, my first concern would be them, I'm sure. I'm sorting the kids' breakfast, and I'm somewhere between anger, tears, hurt, and wondering if I'm even justified feeling this way.
This must be the talk of the trailer park.
Yeah. He's clearly not in a good way from the alcohol. Should I be expecting the immediate apology, concern, fear that I was expecting from someone who just done that, even though it wasn't his fault?
Yeah, there's a lot of layers to that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think he could really help himself in this situation to let this play out long term.
But if he apologizes, doesn't that mean he's taking some responsibility for it?
Well,
when
is-
he's got a fucking disorder. He's
Well,
got a disorder.
I understand. I understand. He's gotten away with it to this point. And I think if you address it and you really look, it's like you don't wake up a sleepwalker, right? Because it's dangerous to their health.
Right.
Right? It
Yeah.
could be detrimental.
Don't wake up a sleep
Don't
raper.
stop a deep dicker, a
Yeah.
sleep dicker. you don't
Sleep
you-
deep dicker.
Yeah, there could that could cause permanent damage. Just let me have it. I'm gonna fucking blow my load. I'll be back asleep. Go back.
Yeah.
We can go on our way.
Well, this used to have a name that sort of was first discovered in the 90s.
Okay.
This isn't going back that far. It's been brought to public attention in 03 issue of the Canadian Journal of Psychiatry. It was initially classified as parasomnia.
Parasomnia.
I'm not crazy about that name. I got to be honest with you.
No.
Which refers to unwanted behavior while an individual sleeps. This category also includes sleepwalking, talking, teeth grinding, even getting up, and other actions. Certain triggers are believed to increase the chances of the new name, sexsomnia.
Ah, see, that's
Right?
way better.
Way better,
Yeah.
right?
I like
Sexsomnia?
deep sleep dicking.
Yeah, deep dicking is good too. Deep sleep dicking or
Yeah.
sleep deep dicking.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it's like parasomnia, I have parasomnia. It's like, sounds like you got a parasite.
Sexnomia. What was it? What was it?
It's sexsomnia.
Sexomnia. Yeah.
So
Like insomnia.
Insomnia
But with sex.
with deep dicking.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna self-diagnose.
There you go. But there's going to be a lot of people faking sexsomnia
Heads
going
up, Hat.
forward.
It's coming.
Lube up yourself if you want.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
can prepare.
Be prepared.
Although research on sexsomnia is patchy, the condition is understood to be very rare. It's not saying you don't have it.
No. Yeah.
Common symptoms include fondling or inducing foreplay with bed partner while asleep.
Guilty.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking guilty. Jeez.
Pelvic thrusting.
Goddamn. Yeah.
Behaviors that mimic sexual intercourse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Being unaware of behavior later. How can you possibly answer that?
You can't prove it. So yeah, I didn't know what I was doing.
How can you possibly answer that question?
Well, because if you don't know, then you don't know.
Yeah, being unaware of behavior later.
So well, yeah, I don't know what I did.
Yeah.
You could say I was blackout drunk, but
Or you're
Potato,
relying
potato.
On, you're relying on very biased witness testimony, which would be your partner.
Exactly. No, I have no idea what happened.
You can believe her if you want. I have no recollection of
I
it.
don't know what happened. Sorry.
She was part of the two-party crew here. She's extremely biased. She should be removed from the trial,
Yeah.
right?
Totally.
Her testimony would fall apart immediately. You're claiming to be the victim and you've got the fucking the top testimony? No. Fellow baby center users urged her to leave the room and night and make him sleep or seek help immediately. Does he remember it? My husband used to get bouts of sexsomnia, but he never remembered it. It made me feel awful once we worked out and what was going on because I'd go along with it. So then it felt rapey.
Add a girl.
So she was fucking back.
Uh-huh.
And then he's like, bitch, I have no recollection of that.
Yeah.
So so it's ghost sex.
Disingenuous, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel
felt-
used.
It felt a bit rapey. Well, for who? You were bucking back. It would be rapey against him, wouldn't it? He doesn't know what's going
He
on.
doesn't. It's true. You knew what was going on.
Yeah.
You had your wits about you.
Yeah.
You opened up.
So if it was rapey on anyone's end, it
Yeah.
was yours, buck back girl.
Oh, interesting take.
Another remarked, you do not have to accept sexual abuse just because it's caused by a medical condition. Oh, is that the new standard? We can ignore certain medical conditions?
Yeah. It's not fair.
Not at least an undiagnosed one. Don't share a bed with him again until this condition is diagnosed and treated. If it is a medical thing, then it's not his fault, but it is his responsibility to do something about it and not yours to just tolerate it. The woman did answer, no, he doesn't remember it. I don't go along with it because I don't want to have sex. It usually happens more if he's tried it on and I've turned it down, like it's playing on his mind when he falls asleep.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
It makes sense. Makes total sense.
So you're going to be a prude.
State of
for the
mind.
night.
Yeah.
You guys go out, get nice and lit. He comes home, wants to get it on. You go, "Nah, get out of here. I'm tired.
Oh, these
slapping away at it.
These bitches in this baby central room or whatever.
Baby center?
Oh, whatever. They fucking
Yeah.
sound like wet towels.
Yeah.
What a fucking joy they must be.
Yeah.
Don't have sex with your husband. Oh, get out. Ew.
He wants to have sex with you guys after you go out drinking. What an
Right?
asshole.
Listen, and can we see some pictures to find out if maybe it's a,
Yeah.
you know,
They're not
maybe
gonna
she's
show us
grateful.
any. I know.
You should be happy
Yeah.
that he gets drunk and wants to do it.
Do you think sexomnia is real?
No.
You think he's just getting handsy and gropey? And,
Well, I don't think that technically is. I think there's probably some really deep sleep and alcohol induced a lot of times,
Yeah.
and some fucking raging boners in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think we're all guilty of in our sleep getting a little handsy, getting a
Yeah.
little frisky. Now, do I get to the point where I have no recollection? Not always. Sometimes. Sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
There's been incidences where I don't. I mean, I'm no rapey or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
but
careful.
But things in
Careful
the middle
what
of
you
the
say,
night that I don't remember.
Yeah.
That happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, I'm a very deep sleeper.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I believe in it either, but, we've seen some wild syndromes out there.
That's true. That's true.
You
That's
know?
true. That's true.
There's some wild shit out there, syndrome wise.
I would think that it would have happened before 1990 if it were real. Just a guess.
Probably was, but no lady dared speak up then.
Ah, the good old days.
Yeah.
The good old days. You
Your
just
lady
lay
knew how to
there and
stay in
take
line,
it.
you know?
Yeah.
She's a good
A
woman.
wife. Yeah. That's how you be a good wife.
Yeah. God. Bye, ladies. I know you've all shut
Yeah.
the radio off, or
Oh.
the speaker off at this point.
It's pure love.
It's all in good fun,
Of course.
I hope. I don't want anyone getting raped. Me,
No.
not you, not anybody.
No.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up there.
Okay.
Thanks everybody for hanging with us. If there's anybody hanging with us, feel free to send emails. Hit My Pillow up. Some of you have made some purchases. I noticed that the Amazon link is still active on the website, so click on that. Shop away. I know a lot of you guys shop through there, but My Pillows, those My slippers are awesome.
They're not bad.
I love them.
I gotta tell
The
you.
sheets are great. All
The
that stuff's
Gizes.
good.
I was just about to say the Gizes.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Legit.
Yeah.
The only pair of sheets that I have that stay on my bed. I got a big, deep mattress, you
Me
know?
too. Me
It's the
too.
only ones that I have that will stay on there. Because
Yep.
I flop around like a fucking six
Guppy.
omniac. And, I just roll like a rotisserie chicken. Just
Yeah.
nonstop, man.
Yeah.
And they just peel off all night, all the time. And those are the only ones that stay on.
Yeah, they're great. They're great, and it helps us out.
Personal
TDC
testimony.
is the code. Yeah. TDC is the code if you go to mypillow.com. They've got all kinds of shit. A lot of stuff is very inexpensive. You
Dog
get
beds, too.
great deals.
Fantastic.
Oh,
Do
dogs.
your dog a favor.
Yeah, dogs. Chevy loves it in Arizona, and CC and
CC's
Bogey
a big
love them
fan,
here.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's great. All right, have a good rest of the day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.